Hafa, I'm Nestor Licanta with the Pacific Daily News, and here are today's top stories from the PDN Newsroom. Guam could be forced to pay back the Federal Emergency Management Agency up to $42 million over failed reporting by the Guam Homeland Security Office of Civil Defense during both the Calvo and Leon Guerrero administrations, Public Auditor Benjamin Cruz told senators on Monday. Cruz said GHS OCD's unaddressed repeat findings prompted FEMA to freeze reimbursements and at one point hire an independent auditor to investigate. The up to $42 million includes more than $34 million in questionable and non-allowed costs that GHS OCD owed to FEMA due to the local agency's failure to provide proper records and justification for grant expenditures as far back as 2011. Senator Frank Blas Jr. also questioned how $8.4 million in general fund monies was provided to GHS OCD when it is supposed to be 100% federally funded. The revelations came during a Monday informational hearing that two legislative committees scheduled at the urging of the Office of Public Accountability. The public auditor and OPA made the rare move of requesting a hearing because they had, quote, grave concerns over the impact of reporting discrepancies in FEMA grant spending by GHS OCD. In other news, some store shelves have been empty of vegetables, fruits, and other produce over delayed arrival of a container ship, but stores expect the shortage to be resolved this week with a container ship expected to make port by Wednesday. Payless Market's Chief People Officer Franklin Sablon said Payless is anticipating the arrival of a delayed Matson ship Wednesday morning, with store shelves expected to be restocked by Wednesday morning. Some produce shelves at several Payless stores were observed to be bare Monday morning, though Sablon said the issue would also impact other retailers as Matson is the main produce supplier for the island. And finally, one more person has been approved as a responsible official for cannabis-related business activity, but there's no movement on outstanding applications for a cannabis cultivator and testing lab. That's according to Monday's meeting of the Cannabis Control Board, which quickly covered new and outstanding applications. Board members voted unanimously to approve Charles John Gumatanto Cruz's application for a responsible official identification card, which is the first step towards opening up a cannabis business on Guam. Cruz wants to do business as Bicultural Diversity LLC. The new approval brings the total of responsible official applications approved so far up to 15, but no business has advanced past step 1 yet, despite applications for cannabis business licenses opening up in late 2022. Acting Governor Joshua Tenorio is asking for more time or an additional 60 days for the public to weigh in on the military's plans to conduct up to 2 missile tests a year from Andersen Air Force Base. I am most especially concerned about any impacts on landowners, including the possibility of the need to evacuate their properties during testing. Tenorio wrote in his Monday letter to Lieutenant General Heath Collins, director of the Missile Defense Agency. A 378-page environmental assessment from MDA notes that tests could require public and private land in the vicinity to be closed or restricted for up to 4 days at a time. That includes residential homes near the Andersen fence line and the Guam National Wildlife Refuge at Ritidian. Notice of property restrictions would be provided well in advance of any necessary land closures, Andersen said, and affected landowners would be relocated at no cost to them. The comment period for the plans, which were made public a little over a week ago, closes on July 2nd. Tenorio wants 60 more days for the public to weigh in on the plans. In other news, before they could create fire with a turn of a dial or the pull of a trigger, like other Pacific Islanders, the Chamorros made natural ovens on the earth with hot stones, leaves, and embers. During the Spanish occupation of Guam, another type of outdoor oven used by the first people and early settlers of the Americas was introduced to Guam. The Hotnu is the Chamorro term for the adopted version of this traditional culinary feature. Visually, it is a handmade, dome-shaped brick and clay oven, which was used not unlike today's household appliances for daily cooking. Today, Hotnus are used in 5-star hotel restaurants, but they don't call them Hotnu, said Rafael Unpinko, a lifelong visual artist from Sinahanya, who is participating in FestPac for the 3rd time, but as part of Guam's culinary delegation for the first time. This is not just any regular type of culinary art. We're practicing a historic way of preparing food, he said. We're sharing the story of that part of our history, and there's history in our food all the way down to potato salad. And finally, a federal program that compensated those sickened by nuclear weapons testing expired over the weekend without ever paying out any radiation survivors on Guam. The June 7 expiration date for the Radiation Exposure Compensation Act, or RECA, came and went without members of the House taking an extension or expansion of the program to a vote. Enacted in 1990, the program never included Guam or other downwinder communities affected by weapons testing or uranium mining. Now, members of Congress are pushing to resuscitate RECA and include Guam, New Mexico, Missouri, and other radiation-affected jurisdictions through an amendment to the National Defense Authorization Act. If passed, residents with certain cancers and illnesses on Guam between 1946 and 1962 will be eligible for up to $100,000 in payouts for being exposed to radiation from nuclear weapons tests over the Marshall Islands. For more of these stories, go to GuamPDN.com and follow us on social media.